welcome back to WCS America Premier League Season 2, Day 1 over here from the brand new ESL studios in Burbank in Southern California. It's the first day of many, Nate, as we'll be back tomorrow as well. I'm not exactly sure who's playing tomorrow, but I'm sure it's going to be another fun day. But for now, we're in the middle of Day 1 action, and we are unfortunately already going to lose our very first player of Season 2. It's always a sad moment.
Yeah, and I mean, what kind of a match would you have really expected for the losers match of Group A? HerO from Team Liquid against CM Storm's RevivaL. HerO, of course, you said the IEM Cologne champion this year, and RevivaL, who is a semifinalist for Season 1, losing to Oz, really. And that was such a close tournament, all those games towards the end. The fact that one of these guys has to be eliminated this early on, it's almost kind of sad.
Yeah, it really is, and it's definitely not what I expected. I think if you would have asked most StarCraft fans who watch a lot of competitive StarCraft who's going to make it out of this group today, I would probably say that at least like 85% says HerO, and then I think a solid 60% would say RevivaL as second place. You know, I think those were the two overwhelming favorites on paper, but nothing is certain in StarCraft 2. You're always going to have to work for it, and that is shown today. The two favorites playing against each other in the losers match. The winner will move on to play against Hawk for a spot, for the final spot. The round of 16, as Pig Baby just qualified early today, which is also kind of really cool as well, because I think WCS America, perhaps more than any other region, has really been the region where we've seen players make offline appearances for the first time in their careers.
Yeah, I mean, last season we had Neve as well, like probably someone that most people in the North American scene, if you're watching WCS, probably haven't heard of this guy. Has no big tournament finishes. Obviously, people that play on ladder and know the NA scene as players would know about him. But it's cool that Pig Baby can come in here. We're gonna see that first like real big offline appearance since playing in Pro League and Wings of Liberty. It almost seems ages ago that we were still playing that.
Our players are almost ready, and we are of course ready as well. Hopefully you guys are ready. Liquid HerO versus CM Storm RevivaL. Our first map is going to be played on King Sejong Station. Just letting everyone know that we are ready. Taking a look at the map veto process as well. I have to look down real quick. We saw that RevivaL vetoed Altazim, Liquid HerO vetoed Merry-Go-Round. What else do we have? Over Grove? Okay, there we go. I was like, what map is over? And then the last veto from HerO was... I'm totally losing it over here. Way Station he vetoed before already. No surprise over there. Either way, our players are ready and we are ready as well. So now we can finally fire up game number 1. Sorry for that. But our map pool, Nate, Frost, Sejong Station, or King Sejong Station, and Habitation Station.
Oh, Habitation Station. I think that's the first time we're seeing that map today. Yeah, so bringing him out. They say no. Do you say no Frost?
I think Frost is second, though.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry.
There's no avoiding that map.
But our first map is going to be played on King Sejong Station, as we just loaded into the game, so we can go ahead and jump into it. And then you guys can see that CM Storm RevivaL, a top 4 place finisher of Season 1. That didn't really make a lot of sense. Someone who finished among the highest 4 positions in Season 1 of WCS America 2014. Representing CM Storm. Wow, this is not going anywhere. He's not representing Paul either. Okay, it's RevivaL.
RevivaL played a fantastic Season 1, and he is up against our Protoss player. We can see he's looking to put a pylon on the low ground. Of course, from Team Liquid, it is HerO, who was defeated by Huck at the beginning. Definitely a result that, repeats history, interestingly enough, while not necessarily being our expected result.
Well, from this point on, you're going to introduce RevivaL. I will avoid that for the rest of my life. That was bad.
I got you.
Either way, HerO dropping that pylon on the low ground. We could potentially see him rally the next probe to the low ground and drop a Forge. But RevivaL, the same as he did earlier today against Pig Baby, is drone scouting on this map. He didn't drone scout on Frost. Because it's a 4-player map and he just does it on 2-player maps. That is possible. HerO is indeed going to drop the Forge, and I think the moment that RevivaL sees like, oh, you're dropping a Forge at 13 supply, well then let me drop my spawning pool, just to make sure.
Yeah, he's just not going to take any chances. Does not want to be cannon rushed very clearly, as we can see. So this is still a relatively normal setup for a Zerg player to open with. It's just you lose a couple of minerals by having that drone go out there instead of mining at the the obvious advantage that you have enough information to know whether it's safe to open with a hash first or not.
And of course, like if we go back at those series that we watched earlier today, well, HerO is still dropping a pile, and I don't think he's very serious about this. He also has a probe over here on location, so I'm still expecting a Nexus soon. I think he's just hoping RevivaL to pull a lot of drones. Maybe, no, actually he's sending the probe back. I think he might just drop cannons, which is crazy against spawning pool first. HerO, he's doing this.
Wow, I mean, he's got 4 drones down there trying to fight this, but how much can he afford to invest in building cannons, potentially canceling cannons?
I don't think this is good for HerO at all, Nate.
Yeah, this is pretty wild.
I think this is a disaster, to be honest.
He still has not started the next staircase, so he does cancel the cannon. And do you think it's worth it to have those 4 drones mining down there?
No, that is not worth it at all. I think HerO made a small mistake over here. Perhaps he hoped that RevivaL wouldn't take his cannon threat seriously, and that RevivaL would be like, you know, he's just going to expand, so I'll only send a single drone down. And then if HerO is able to land 2-3 cannons and he's able to protect them with another building, then maybe this could have still been worth it. But right now, you know, the Nexus was delayed by quite a large margin, as that hatchery is almost finished up. This Nexus is just being wiped in. He also was forced to warp in the cannon before the gateway, just in case, you know, there would have been 4 or 6 Zerglings that would have ran across the map. There would have been a chance that this cannon wouldn't have been ready in time. So overall, I don't think this is a position that HerO is very happy with. It's not the end of the world. Like I'm not trying to make it sound like, wow, this is game over and RevivaL or HerO might as well leave, but it's just not what he was hoping for, I think.
No. So RevivaL is going to take that 3rd base, as he has been wont to do in pretty much all of his games against Pig Baby earlier. And this probe, of course, this nefarious little guy in the bottom left of the map, could potentially put a pylon or a later stage, you know, just hiding it so you can get a pylon later on for some gateway aggression. Be surprised to see if he actually hit anything there, though.
Or he's in the environmentalist and he just checks on the ice caps, make sure they're not
That's
melting.
a cool place. The scenery there looks great.
The guys, actually, global warming is a lie. There's plenty of ice left. Just kidding.
Well, he is putting a pylon there.
Yeah.
And I feel like the distance to actually go anywhere from there is a bit long, though. Like to actually get anywhere if you warp
maybe
Zealous.
Maybe a Stargate, it would be really risky, but I'm not exactly sure what he wants to do over here with the Spiner. We'll see, we can close eye on it. Of course, we see RevivaL going up to 3 bases over here as his 3rd hatch is more than halfway done. What? No. No!
What?
This is like next level max set proxy robo. Or something like that. I guess this is like the hidden immortal sentry all in. This is so incredibly risky, Nick. Like, I can't even emphasize on how risky this is.
I mean, if he builds an immortal, then he can kill the rocks. I guess that's to get through, but
yeah,
this is...
What's the point?
This is definitely not common, I guess is the best way to put this.
No.
RevivaL is still just pumping out drones left and
Look at this
right.
Overlord. I think RevivaL's gonna giggle so hard when he sees this. I wonder how you say...
I'd have a giggle over this.
Yeah, me too. It's like, I would type smiley face probably like, oh, what's this all about? Then again, never left too soon.
Yeah.
Where is he gonna take this?
What does he build out of it?
A prism?
Okay. That's at least something that's salvageable, right?
If I was a RevivaL, I wouldn't reveal my Overlord either. Let's follow the vision from RevivaL. He's like, oh, okay. So he saw it right now. Now HerO also knows that RevivaL has seen it, as this is the last thing you want to see above your hidden robotics facility. Now normally, you know, stuff like this doesn't have to be very all in. Immediately, a lot of Zerglings on the production tab for good old RevivaL. Okay, so I think this is like gateway pressure into an immortal sentry follow-up later on. But the RevivaL, seeing this coming way ahead in time, he's up 9 workers right now. I don't know what HerO is gonna do with this, Nate.
You know, he has 4 gateways, so like this is something that if he could force a lot of units to be made, he doesn't have the production for this to be like a super crazy all-in. He also could take his gas and his natural, but it definitely gives him a lot of options. I don't think he can do anything with those. Too many units already on the map.
Yeah, this is one of the most confusing ZVPs or PVZs, sorry, that I've seen of Liquid HerO. He has 2 stalkers, 3 stalkers, 2 stalkers and a zealot actually in this warp prism right now. It's like, this is also not like the most effective drop. He is building 4 more gateways, so it is indeed like an 8-gate follow-up with a bunch of immortals. But the thing is, like, RevivaL is already on 50 drones, and 50 drones is like a reasonable amount to just make a crazy amount of units off. Of course, HerO is, you know, maybe RevivaL would have preferred to go up to 57 drones and then start producing units, but, you know, in the end, RevivaL has taken absolutely 0 damage from this.
Yeah, that's really nice. And this Hydralisk Den, right? Hydralisks are so good versus gateway
Yep.
units. This is, I mean, you're trying to make us a straight up push with this. There's no roaches, so just Hydraling. He has a Roach Warren, but not really building any. And I think just Zerglings. Zerglings with Hydralisks
I
against
think
just gateway units?
if I will see a RevivaL right now, I would jump on these units immediately. They're quite exposed. There is really not that much. If RevivaL goes with everything right now and starts fighting this, like HerO's not ready yet to fight. HerO needs one more big weapon.
Yeah, that Pylon's on the way. Time Warps this Force. He's bringing the Warp Prism back as well. Third Immortal does show up, and with good Warp Prism Micro, he's able to keep it alive. Those Roaches not having too much of a hand in this. I think there's a few Hydralisks out, though, on this high ground position. 28 Zerglings on the way. A couple more Hydralisks as well. And I think the Hydralisks are really the key to this, because if you're going to sustain a fight for a long time, they attack so quickly, and they don't take any of that bonus damage. So he needs to be super careful with how he engages up this ramp.
Yep, Madashiko has to be careful as well. It's going to die real quickly. And then we do see it fall immediately. It will get this time warp off. HerO's going to try to push the issue over here, but these Hydras pushing out so much more damage than Zerg units normally would in this phase of the game. There are also not that many force fields remaining, because that first attack may have not been the most successful attack ever for RevivaL, but he did kill like 3 or 4 sentries over here. And let's not forget, HerO did not take all of his assimilators. He only took 3 out of 4, so losing sentries is really painful.
Yeah, this is a kind of almost a desperate situation. It feels like there's an Overlord or something in HerO's base. I can see a lot of this as well. Warp Prism moves into the main. He's going to drop a few of those Zealots. He's chrono boosting those gateways quite heavily, still wanting to move a lot of units towards him. Coming up this natural ramp. The Hydras are here, though, and this army taking a pounding from this Hydra force with 4 Mortals. He's looking to try to break this anyway. I don't think he has the firepower necessary.
Oh, this is a painful engagement so far. This is a painful game to watch, I think, if you're a HerO fan. For a small moment, I thought like maybe something is possible over here, but RevivaL, I think, is going to hold this with ease, and this was a really convincing victory for him. He's even dropping the Spire right now, Nate. That's how confident he feels. Look at these Hydras. They just walk into these Immortals and Zealots. All of these Protoss units will die, and GG is called. RevivaL takes a convincing victory over Liquid's HerO over here in Game 1, and HerO right now just 1 map away from being eliminated of WCS America Season 2 again in the round of 32. Last season, HerO lost in the round of 32, which was a really big surprise. It was an upset. He lost to Gigawa in the deciding series back then. Is it going to be another Zerg this time? That's going to be his downfall. I don't know. Either way, it's looking dicey. It's like, this is not the HerO that I know. This is not the HerO that I love.
It was a really weird opening from HerO. Let's just cut to the chase. It's not something that we see very often, and I'm sure that HerO went into this game with a strategy in mind where he thought, okay, if I can attack through these rocks, like that back area, it had a direct path from his robotics facility towards the left side of the natural. So you have to assume that this isn't something he just threw out randomly. He must have had a little bit of success with it, but RevivaL getting the read on it so early, not doing any damage with the Warp Prism, I think that just put him a little too far behind.
Yes, that as well, but I also think it also goes back to this game, because as a Protoss player, you can't just like warp in a pylon and then cannon and delay your nexus for that much and not expect to not be hit by that economically as well. You take some economic damage. It might not be game ending, but it's going to slow everything a little bit down for the rest of the game. Then also if you're trying to proxy and then like 4-gate pressure or something with a Warp Prism, it's just like, it's already going to be later than it normally is. And now it also got scouted on top of all things. It just kind of felt like nothing came together for HerO in that game. And I'm starting to be a little bit worried. Our next map is Frost. And I especially think that if RevivaL gets horizontal spawning positions on this map, I think it's going to be a very hard game for HerO to win. And I've seen HerO play some of the most fancy PvZ there's out there. But today, he's just not really being able to shine it like he normally does. I just hope that we'll see at least like 1 real game of HerO, because we all know how beautiful HerO's PvZ can be if he makes it to a certain phase in the game where, you know, he stabilizes on 3 bases and then he starts flying around with prisms, starts being effective with harassment, and meanwhile techs up to a terrifying Protoss army. And that's how he can play, and that's how we all love to watch him play.
Yeah, I kind of almost kind of hope, kind of like you said, to see HerO just kind of play standard style. I don't think he needs to proxy buildings or like that robotics sleep. I don't think a build that out there is necessary to defeat a player like RevivaL. And you make a good point. Maybe it has something to do with the economic disadvantage of that early cannon. But I like to see a bit more, you know, HerO in this the second map.
Couldn't have said it any better. Let's see. We'll see a little more of HerO over here on Frost, which of course has to be a map that HerO has to feel extremely confident on. It's been a map that's been around for a long time, much longer than maps like King's Young Station or any of the other maps. It's interesting as well that HerO kept 2 of the 3 older maps. I wonder if that means something. Either way, we're going to go ahead and jump into game as Frost is going to be our second map for this series. Is Liquid HerO again going to bomb out in the round of 32, or will he have some comeback potential? Nate, why don't you go ahead and introduce his Red Zerg, because I can't do it.
All right, our Red Zerg in the bottom left position from Cooler Master Storm. He is RevivaL. And he has played a very, very sharp first game in this series. He is up against the blue Protoss in the top left, already putting his pylon in his main base. From Team Liquid, it is HerO. It's already a kind of different showing of how he wants to open this map.
Looking at where he built his pylon, it might be a nexus into a forge in his main, which is a little bit, or he wants to even drop a forge on the high ground, because maybe he thinks like, hey, RevivaL doesn't scout on a 4-player map. Even though the Overlord for RevivaL is heading into the right direction, as we're having vertical spawning locations, which I think in general is a little better for HerO. We'll see. These are the same locations, but then reverse as RevivaL lost earlier today against PigBaby. Back then, RevivaL went no drone scout, double hatch into pool. So we keep a close eye on his base to see if he's going to do the same thing. What is HerO? Like, HerO is most likely going to go Nexus first on the low ground here.
Yeah, RevivaL's moving that drone towards the natural as well. So there's the hatchery first. And yeah, HerO probably just 15 Nexus. Makes a lot of sense. It's relatively common, I'd say.
Yep. Now I do wonder why, how he's going to follow this up. Of course, gateway follow-up is something that's quite popular. You see plays like, oh, I love what HerO's doing over there. He just knows when that Overlord arrives. So he sends that probe down over here just a little bit, because he knows like, hey, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something very close to that, if he spawned below me, then I'm going to see his Overlord. And that is exactly what happens over here. He's following it up with a gateway. Kind of an interesting Sim City over here, but the gateway is the more likely follow-up.
Yeah, it's, he doesn't have any fast access to any wall, especially, and fast third hatchery comes up as a response. RevivaL can get away with this pretty easily, I feel. The probe will scout this, but is there anything that HerO could do?
I mean, if HerO really wants, he could also like save up a little bit of Chrono Boost energy and then put on some 4 gateway pressure. It's going to hit a little later than the one that PigBaby had early today, because that was a gateway opening into an expand, but it could still be successful. But right now, immediately, there's nothing he can do, of course. Like, I kind of wonder, like HerO and both HerO and PigBaby, I feel had the intention to cannonize RevivaL on the 2-player map. RevivaL drone scouts on the 2-player map. Why don't they try it on the 4-player map? I know it's a little harder to pull off, but if you really want a cannon, I guess you can. And it seems like pretty easy to predict that RevivaL is going double hatch, no drone scout on a map like this.
Yeah, especially if you watch those earlier games. This probe is just trying to be the most annoying little probe ever onto that drone, and keeping all of its health intact as those shields regenerate. And he still sees just about everything that he's got set up, and I believe the probe, he knows about the third hatchery as well. So this is just one of those situations where he's like, well, I actually can't do anything. Try to be annoying.
Yeah, but it's important that he checks again to see if there's an extractor down or not, because if there was an extractor down, then it's like, okay, I still have to worry about relatively quick spicklings. If you don't see an extractor down, that's nice. You're like, all right, from this point on, he left the base at 4:30. That means 44 seconds until he mines 100 gas, and then it's an additional 110 seconds until he could potentially have speed. So if HerO wants to put on some gateway aggression, that information helps a lot. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see HerO drop at least 2 additional gates and try to make something happen, but actually it's going to be a Stargate, and don't mind that too much either.
Yeah, I think I like Stargate play coming out of Protosses in this matchup. We see, like, obviously there was the really crazy Stargate play from before, but excuse me, he's actually just going to move his Mothership Core with this Zealot. And where have we seen this before? Just bringing this very slight amount of pressure. Killing this Queen this early on, especially if he delays the next inject, would be pretty nice. As his second Queen comes out of his main base. I mean, he could get it, but he would guarantee loss of Mothership Core. The Stalker, though. Cash money.
Well, it's still actually not down yet. RevivaL is going to lose in the end. He's going to lose his Queen.
And the drone hug of death prevents escape.
Yeah. I think that's an okay trade for RevivaL there. Zealot, the Stalker, for just a single Queen, while he already had his extra Queen as well. He opened with 3 hatcheries, so it's not like he has a hard time producing Queens. That would be an opening that I'm okay with, especially because of this great Overlord Scout as well. He sees the Stargate, he sees the Phoenix in production, because if you look closely at the Stargate, you can see it. I kind of like RevivaL's position right now. Of course, this is still all relatively standard, but it's before the 7-minute mark. RevivaL's already up in workers. Ah, this is interesting. An Oracle follow-up.
Yeah, one Phoenix to clear out Overlords, and then immediately the Oracle. Now, did he see the Oracle in production? I'm curious, because he has not started any Spore Crawlers.
No, he didn't see the Oracle.
That Oracle could get in there and pick off quite a few. Okay, he's building one Spore at his natural, so should be relatively safe.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get one Spore in every base. He just wants to wait a little bit. Because again, guys, if you have like 45 drones, then morphing 3 drones into Spore Crawlers hurt your economy a lot more than when you have like 60 drones and then you're morphing 3 drones. So Zerg players like to wait a little bit longer. But he didn't go too greedy as his Oracle does fly into the natural. Is there one in the main though? I think the one in the main is not ready yet, but it's almost ready. So this Oracle not really paying for himself, but this Oracle is not useless. It's been dropped Revelation.
I mean, we saw how useful. We saw how Pig Baby was also able to make use of Oracles.
Yeah, he had a great use of Oracle despite not really killing any drones. And above all, you know, if RevivaL decided to make a bunch of Zerglings, this Oracle can just fly back to the other side of the map. And of course, Zerglings are light armored units. That's how it's called, right? Light armor. Yeah. Man, I just had a total blank over there.
I mean, it's okay. It's pretty much no armor with how fast these things die.
And obviously, Oracles do extra damage against light armored units.
Yeah, Zergling trying to poke the third base. He gets a Potion Overcharge. The safety Void Ray is here to lock things down. One Zergling slips through, being eaten by that sentry. And not really too much to be done. He basically just gets a force field. And some of these probes got delayed a little bit trying to move out.
So HerO is dropping a robotics facility behind this and also a robo bay. So you know what RevivaL did earlier today against Pig Baby on King's Young Station that failed miserably back then. I think this is kind of the build that he was hoping to fade. But now we see 2 extra targets as well. I am really amazed how these Protoss players are pulling this kind of stuff off, Nate. Like, this doesn't make any sense to my PvZ skills, and I know that's just limited to me, but...
See, I expected to be surprised by whatever Pig Baby would pull out, but do you think HerO, looking at those games, or if he did watch those games, thought that maybe this was something he could abuse?
Yeah, maybe. That's really deep. That's
really
some
deep like, metagaming.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that deep just yet, but you could be right, Nate. You could definitely be onto something, but it's just bizarre to me that you can go up to 3 bases that quickly after, you know, opening up with a Stargate and then dropping a Robo and then dropping 2 more Stargates. Like, there would be 100,000 things that I'm worried about. Either way, these Zerglings are doing a little bit of work, but they're playing with fire as well. I thought they could have been trapped. They're actually killing quite a few. I love this whole position, by the way, that he's pulling off multiple times, because if you attack move, the Zerglings are going to derp a little bit. So what RevivaL is doing there, he's move commanding and then pressing hold position, move commanding, hold position, so he would attack as many probes as possible. Well done there by him. He's also dropping a 4th and 5th hatch immediately, so I kind of feel he still wants to go into Mutalisk, and then suddenly he's facing triple Stargate again. Like, maybe you were right, Nate, and that's really deep.
I don't know. That's it's definitely going to be interesting, because if you look, it could also still just be a play on the way that RevivaL played his other matches. And he is going to go into Mutalisks, but versus the Swarmhost Corruptory Roach style we saw him do last season, this would still be a good setup versus that.
It would be good indeed against that style that we've seen a lot from RevivaL. It would have been bad against the style that we saw earlier today from RevivaL, and that is, you know, a few fake units into a bunch of Mutalisks. With 17 Mutalisks, I am extremely worried right now for Liquid HerO. Like, I cannot emphasize enough. If those would have been Phoenixes, I wouldn't have been that worried, because then I think he would have had enough time. But Colossus Void Ray is so extremely bad against Mutas, and now, okay, HerO knows he's somehow seen Mutas pop somewhere. He also has a bunch of Zerglings running towards the 3rd base again. I am not sure if HerO is going to have enough time to get the Phoenixes out that he really needs.
Yeah, those cannons are trying to go to work defending, but, you know, at the very least, he forces the probes to stop mining for a bit. This Oracle saw the bottom right base, but not much to do over there. And how many Phoenixes does he have? I mean, like, the nice thing about this is at the end of the day, he still has 3 Stargates preemptively, so you can't really be blindsided too badly by this. You know,
every Phoenix is really important. The HerO loses. I think that was the original scouting Phoenix. This Oracle gets found as well on the right bottom side of this map. Like, Corruptors are being thrown in the mix as well. At least RevivaL is giving HerO time. You know, that is the beauty of Photon Overcharge. It can be that buffer zone that you really need to get at least some Phoenixes out. And Phoenixes are extremely good. But without range, and even sometimes with range, like if you're outnumbered very, very badly, it almost doesn't matter. Like Phoenixes are fantastic if it's like 10 Phoenix against, let's say, like 20 Mutalisk or something. Yeah, you clean it up with ease, no problem. But if the meter count goes up to 30s and then there are a bunch of Corruptors in the mix as well, then even if you have 10 Phoenixes, it's not that easy.
No, not at all. We actually have so with the Fleet Beacon, he'll be able to get the range
I don't
upgrade.
know, HerO, careful.
Oh, that's, yeah, almost gets caught off guard. Of course, nice thing is, as long as you keep your eye on your Phoenix, they do move faster than those Mutalisks. It's quite difficult to get.
I almost thought that was a Drake quote over there by Nate there.
He's not gonna give not that easily.
Spore Crawler is going to work on his Oracle while his Oracle picked up a few drones. That is nice. Muta count is growing. Above all, the Corruptor count is growing as well. So of course, it's gonna all come down to micro from this point. The problem is what I have whenever I play like this, and these cannons are just almost useless. They're going to die immediately. RevivaL has to be careful. You can't just overrun. Like, there's not much that HerO can do right now. Well, he definitely shouldn't be losing Void Rays and Phoenixes like that.
Yeah, those Void Rays taking a huge amount of pain. There's just so much in the air here for RevivaL.
Oh
Up 60 supply, and even with the Phoenix, he still has enough army supply, he has enough here, just enough stuff, that by the time these Phoenix kill all of these units, he could still pick off the rest of his army, all of his workers, and have enough left over to still kill all the
This
Phoenix.
might just almost be it. HerO had his army positioned very, very poorly there. The Phoenixes were just shooting at Corruptors, and that's it. It's over for Liquid HerO. GG is called. RevivaL wins 2-0 against HerO over here. I'm a little shocked, Nate. This really did not feel like a Liquid HerO performance.
This was not the series I expected by any means. You know, like I said, when we look at the beginning of this group, you know, HerO, RevivaL, they're kind of the players that you would expect to get out. The players that have had a lot of success recently. And of course, you know, aside from winning tournaments, you know, we have HerO playing in Pro League as well. But man, just the way that RevivaL handled that game with his Corruptors, his Mutalisk setup, we don't see all those army compositions clash too often. Maybe a couple months ago, I'd say as the closer you go back towards Heart of the Swarm's release, the more you see army compositions like that do battle. And that was just very well handled by RevivaL. He made almost no mistakes this series.
No, I definitely don't want to take anything away from RevivaL, because the type of Zerg style that he plays, I think is a very tricky style and is one that's hard to deal with. But the HerO with 3 Stargates in position, or already on the map, and he made Phoenixes. It was a little late, but he still survived the first real wave, and he didn't lose that much. He lost a bit of mining time, but he was able to get out a reasonable amount of Phoenixes. He already had Void Rays as well. Like, that positioning in the final minute of that game, that was completely unnecessary and uncalled for. There's no way that HerO has to fly away from his cannons, that he has to fly away from Photon Overcharge, that he needs Phoenixes to shoot at Corruptors, that he loses 2-3 Void Rays before the fight even starts. Like, they were getting closer in supply. HerO was at 160. Of course, RevivaL had absolute map control, great macro, 2 on the supply. But like, this is pretty much it. And from this point on, all that HerO had to do is buy time, you know, get some Archons out, get those cannons up. And HerO has the skill to normally survive that danger zone. Like, I know that this is a very hard phase in the game for a pro player to survive, but a player like HerO, he can do it, especially when he has 3 Stargates on the map already. When his Phoenix count goes up to 10, 12, he has a bunch of Void Rays which suck against the Mutalisk, but are pretty damn good against the Corruptors. Makes it a lot harder for a Corruptor wall to fly in. Like, that should not have happened the way that those final seconds played out. And also, you know, like, I guess it didn't really change anything, but the way the Colossus were just derping around over there, that's also something you don't see normally. You don't see HerO do that stuff.
Yeah, just it felt like just a little bit slightly sloppier than we normally see from HerO. And you know, because of that, he's eliminated now, and we're gonna have RevivaL go up in the final series of the night against Evil Genius's Huck for our last PvZ. Not all PvP here today, but that's going to be quite a series as well.
Yeah. Former teammates going up against each other. Huck could have seen Pick maybe defeat RevivaL earlier today, but by no means I think that this is going to be easy, because RevivaL, as we seen that last series as well, he dismantled HerO. I really did not feel that we saw the HerO play. Like, I don't know, maybe HerO hasn't practiced that much lately, but normally if that's the case, then we would hear something about that. So maybe he was getting nervous. We do know that HerO puts a lot of pressure on himself, and sometimes it's really weird, because with HerO it's kind of like a hit or a miss. Either he plays like he's one of the absolute best players on earth, or it's kind of all messy and it doesn't really feel like HerO. And today I'm a little bit shocked. I really am. Like, I expected so much more of HerO, and either way,
I mean,
I'm lost for words. Seriously,
So,
I
I
did not
gotta
expect
ask you
it.
though, because we were a little bit surprised by how Piro played that last game on Frost. He kind of went for the same setup that Big Baby went for, and Huck played RevivaL in last season's round of 16 for WCS America, and Huck lost to RevivaL to RevivaL style with the Corruptors, the Swarm Hosts, and the Mobile Roach Ling Force. Are we going to see him try to emulate the Pig Baby
Yeah.
style, or is he going to try to play straight up again? Because
Wow.
it didn't work out very well for him the first time.
You're just trying to go deeper and deeper with this whole meta thing, aren't you? Like, I have no idea in which brain we are right now. You just jump to 4 different brains with 5 different meta games. So either way, guys, I don't know, and I'm sure that you guys don't know either where Nate is going with this. But we're gonna find out what's gonna happen in the final series of the day. Is it going to be EG's Hawk, or is it going to be CM Storm RevivaL who's gonna make it to the round of 16 in WCS America Premier League Season 2? Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.